Thank you so much. That was incredible, Franka. And to all of our speakers, can we invite you back up? Martha and So now we open up the floor to any Q&As, please. Yeah, if you have any questions.
tough questions.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
I have a first question. So for Franka, actually. So I used to work at a purpose brand, exactly for the same reasons, because I used to be in big corporates in banking, and I was like, fuck this shit, I want to do something that I really believe in. And to your point where you said the better I was getting in my career, the less good it was for the world. So I found myself the other way around, being at this purpose brand where I was actually really bored. Because people didn't really have the incentive, because the monetary incentives and the career and the progression, and it really attracted a certain kind of people who were all about the purpose, but maybe set their careers a little bit aside. And I was like, wait, but I'm a really ambitious person. Like, I really want to get really good, but I also want to help the world. And so right now I'm back to the business side and the not so good side of things maybe. But I'm really challenged and I'm really learning. But now I'm lost in my head and I mean, maybe I can go back and forth between purpose and career, but how do you manage that in your agency?
Yeah.
Do you see the same trends, basically?
I can, I don't have a solution, fortunately, but I can just, reiterate and confirm what you're describing is that, unfortunately, these brands, and that's possibly why they are not as successful as the big corporations, because they are doing it for the purpose and they are not looking at the financial outcome, they are not measuring against KPIs, and that's a tough thing. And we have a similar problem because the budgets aren't as good, they are not as creatively ambitious. So we are really pushing them, and what helps us is to get them out of their purpose bubble, say, you're not comparing yourselves to other NGOs or to other good brands. You have to compare yourselves against the big bad guys. Those are the ones that you need to tackle if we want to solve the climate crisis or whatever crisis. So you need to get a bit more ambitious. You need to become fighters and to get your asses up. But it's tough, and I know like working within, this is usually not how you can challenge the leaders of these brands, but yeah, I see it as a problem, and I agree, because if they remain in their little bubble and complacent, then they will not be able to tackle the brands. So yeah, the solution would really just be to keep challenging.
Well, do you see a change there right now? I think it's changing a little bit, no? Because it's getting more and more common to be a good one.
It is, but at the same time, the big corporations are starting to also position themselves as the good ones, and that's tough, because then the small, unambitious brands, they will never have a fair chance, and they were there first, and they started it, and they are probably much more consistent doing good than the big corporations. But that's really tough, and that's usually what we show them and tell them, that hey, it's not a USP anymore that you're green, that you're good. The others are saying it as well, so you need to do a bit more, you need to be bold and do great stunts and tackle them and be political. Not everyone, of course, but
That's bad guy energy.
bring a bit of bad guy energy to the good game. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
It's not really a question, but more like how much I admire all of your saying that you follow your passion, especially Kathrin, you follow your passion even though you were not good at it initially. And maybe you have some advice for people like myself who, when I'm not good at something initially, I just drop it, even though I think it could become a passion at some point. It's just, it's really
It's
exciting.
very hard for me to answer your question because Maggie has worked for our team. She's amazing, and she's searching for a job. She was working as a student for, and sadly we couldn't keep her, so get in touch with Maggie. But because of it, it is a bit tough. But this was what I was trying to bring along with the talk. like you have so many assets which are wonderful, and you're really passionate. I mean, this word is lying within. If you try to figure out in which direction you want to go, and if you just keep your passion for the things what you love and lying itself in there, then you will figure it out. And I know that you're in between two jobs right now. You're in between your I and your X. Try to figure that out. Explore the fields and try to figure out what you like in which field. And just, I mean, you're at the starting point of your career, so you have a little bit of time to explore. And I would really recommend this to you. I mean, we had a talk before, so it's not let's talk about this. Just try to just reach out to people, talk with them, and you will find your answer pretty soon. I'm very, very sure about it. So, but maybe you can better advice.
Likewise, I would hand over to more.
I don't know.
Amazing.
I think with the passion is like practice, you know? Like whenever I'm Netflix documentary binger, you know? And when you look at Kobe Bryant, Shaq, or any documentary you fancy, it's like really practice, and what they've done is really practicing. And when they didn't, like we tend to do all or nothing, and I include myself to it, you know, I try to convince myself that I should go for a run 3 times a week. And when I fuck up the first time, I'm like, oh God, no, it's over, you know, done. And I think the trick is, and if you figure it out, let me know, is to really continue and really just like not give up and just really, really continue and follow it, and you will get better and you will get more clarity about what you want and what you don't want. So that is my life advice here.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I have a question. It's like, Martha, you talk about energy. Like sometimes I also like have really a lot of energy at the beginning of the day, but suddenly something negative just kick in, and then I was like stuck there. And somehow I also enjoy like stuck into that area, and then you can't like you kind of like, I don't know, surrounding by negative energy. And how do you actually get out of it and also put yourself into like the right state to continue to do something more meaningful?
Mm-hmm. It's a tricky part. Start with a post-it, you know, so you get a reminder of like, okay, positive vibes only. But I know it sounds cheesy, but I kind of think like, I don't know, when somebody gives me bad energy or when I'm in a bad mood, and normally somebody else puts me in a bad mood, then I kind of know that it has mostly nothing to do with me. It's that they're like having a tough day or so. And then when you look at like, you know, the grand scheme of things, the thing that makes you feel bad is not that bad, you know? And I think you need to look at, okay, I have a choice now. I can be miserable or just move it aside and continue with my day, you know? And I think you always have a choice how it affects you. But it's up to you, like to remind yourself to say, I need to get out of it. And it's hard work, you know? But I think the more you again, it's all practice, you know? The more you practice, the easier it is to get out of it. Sometimes I'm fed up or like pissed off for days, but then I kind of know, actually, it's pointless. Because then it's really pointless being negative, because it's just going to get like more negative, and the only solution is to get out and to change perspective and pick yourself up and just say, okay, let's go on, you know? And yeah, but it does take practice, but I think you just need to remind yourself all the time and catch yourself when you're in that spiral. But you're not gonna, you need to get out. Like, there is no point in staying there, because life moves on, and you're not helping yourself, you know, being in that negativity or negative spot. Hope that answered the question.
Can I maybe add something? What I figured out, sometimes it's not, most of the time we are all in our things. So if you have this negative energy, it's sometimes, or you have a fight, or you're clashing at work, most of the time it's not really against each other, so you can solve it, because if you twist everything, try to put yourself in the shoes of the other person, you can kind of figure out you could fight against the problem. So if you change the perspective and try to figure out what is the reason why that other person is kind of negative, maybe it's not about you, it's more that you haven't figured out yet what the problem is, and then if you understand it more, you can fight against this problem instead of against each other. So most of the time you are in the same boat. It's like, and sometimes you forget it.
Yeah.
It's like, so
Yeah.
it's
And it's really just about checking in, you know, just like, okay, we need to get out of it. And the sooner you get out of it, the better.
And if I can add just one very stupid, very hands-on thing. If you find your reset song, one song that helps you to reset yourself and go on with a better energy, it's a game changer.
Now I have a question. What is your reset song?
It's your first reset song.
Do we have a microphone?
Good advice. Do we have any more questions?
They did age ever stress you out? Because I have to feel like I'm turning 40 next year, and like I have so much of like especially turning 40, you have to feel that you have to know your purpose now, and you have, and so many people are 30, they're like so far. I mean, you guys are also still pretty young and like reach so much, and somehow it's really stressing.
I'm not so young.
Just look so young. Yeah, but still, I mean, it's so yeah.
No, I think that society kind of puts these pictures out there, and they, as you said before, like you should have a family horse or something. We all feel this, to be honest. I have this as well. I have no children, no family, no partner right
No
now.
horse.
So it's like, no horse. But I mean, I can't really give any wise advice. Just try to figure out, maybe it's the life you chose, and maybe it's the tempo you have. Like, not everybody have to have the same quickness in everything or the same energy or something. So try to really
Not stressed.
try not to, please. Because if we stop doing that and we share this, then maybe we don't put pressure on each other anymore. So, but I feel the same. Yeah, and
Watch the JLo documentary. Seriously. There was one sentence she said, I just turned 50 and I feel like my life is just getting started, and I found that so inspiring, you know, and I kind of think like, fuck age, you know, they're like, seriously, like, okay, we're getting older, but we're also getting wiser a little bit.
Obama is turning 60, I think this is.
Yeah, and I think we just need to make the best out of it. And yeah, what you said, like, stop listening to what society tells, because I think it's all in our heads, you know, and I don't know whoever came up with that idea. I think it's a stupid idea. So I don't know. I'm turning 40 in the year after next, and I also kind of think like, hey, life is good, you know, so much to explore and do, and whatever happens will happen. We don't have any control over it, so we just need to go with the flow and hope for the best, you know.
Can I just add that you opened an agency in New York while going with the flow in your 20s? And you're a really good surfer.
No, but it happened by accident, you know. It happened by accident for all the other reasons I presented, you know. But also, I don't have a family. I'm originally Polish. I have a Catholic, not we're not in church anymore, but we used to be Catholic, you know. And in theory, whenever I go back to Poland to see my family, ever since I turned 30, so we're with it, you know. We're with spot, you know. But it's not just because we've done these fancy things. It's not fancy. It sounds fancy, but at the end of the day, it just happened somehow, and we stumbled upon it, and, you know. And at the same time, I can just speak for myself. I still have the same problems, you know, and they changed with the. I thought like. When I'm mid-30, I'm like, everything would be great, I've made it. But now you realize I didn't, you know, and the problems changed, but you will always have problems. So I don't know. I don't think that is fancy what we're doing, because it just kind of happened.
Still think it's fancy, but let's hope we get fancy.
But I do get that some, like, just in general, if you're looking for a job or something, you can really present everything in any way that you want.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, looking back at people I've studied with, for example, and I'm like, oh my God, they put this on LinkedIn. And I'm like, no, wait, it's a title. It's a stupid fucking title. It doesn't mean
Means
anything.
nothing.
It could be anything.
Especially when we know the person, people in person,
Yeah.
that's okay, but...
Don't stress about these things.
Well, if we don't have any more questions, we'll wrap it up. And thank you so much to
Thank you.
Martha, Kathrin. Blue wine downstairs, we have snacks, please stay, we have another hour to mingle, and of course, if you have any personal questions, our speakers will be here hopefully, mingling with us. Thank you for your inspiration, really. Thank you, everyone.